So where did we leave off?
So Steven Jackson was saying that they're like twins or whatever. They developed a relationship. I did hear that maybe a couple of weeks ago he had sent him something. He sent him a package,
Oh,
which is just I don't know. I don't believe in coincidences, but that's just me. I'm a 10 for do rag wearing ass nigga. So,
yeah.
but
that
despite
that is kind
all
of
of that,
funny though.
I mean, what do you think? What do you think the message is here? Because I mean, you think about it. It seems like as soon as this riot happened, like the whole COVID thing was like null and void. No one cared about nothing. And so a lot of people wasn't really wearing masks. And honestly, like, that could just be, that could be like a crazy way for that thing to spread just like that with all the people that just went over there and did that.
So I missed some part in between because the video cut out again and the audio cut out. But I think you were saying like how did people just completely forget about the pandemic in the midst of like, you know, racial and social injustice that we face? I mean, I want to say like on a daily basis, it's been happening. I guess my answer to that is that like, all right, so Breonna Taylor happens in February. We're
Mm,
like, okay, like this situation is probably like one of the worst situations to happen in like the last 4 to 5 years because she wasn't doing nothing in her house, just enjoying herself in her own company,
mm-hmm.
and a officer just kicks down her door and shoots her dead, and then her boyfriend.
Come on, man. Hello?
Yeah, my
Okay.
video keeps on cutting out for whatever reason. I have no idea why that's happening, but my video is like in and out. I can't seem to have Zoom stay up for whatever reason.
So you said that her boyfriend. You talk about her boyfriend.
Okay. Yeah, so her boyfriend was just trying to defend her, and like he ends up shooting him, and they charge the boyfriend but not the cop. And I mean, thank God like the charges from the boyfriend was dropped. Um do you remember what had happened with the officer? Like was he properly charged? Like did anything happen to him? Like did he lose his job? Like
I doubt it. Um, Probably another paid leave situation. Um, but yeah, like this is like a storm right now where there's just gonna see a lot of racial incidents. Like even the Central Park thing, where that lady was walking her dog or whatever, and I guess she was walking in without a leash, and then she threatened to call the cops on this dude, and it's just really strange that their last that both of their last names was the same. And I'm not sure if you ever
yeah.
ran into a white person with the same last name as you, but it's a very awkward conversation. And some
Yeah.
people saying that might have been staged, like some juicy Smolier shit or something.
I don't like I really don't know. Like I wouldn't say it was staged because like there's so many other stories like about this youth pastor that was like about to get caught. Like I don't remember like what he was doing, but something illicit, like something illegal. And he had claimed that like he had called the cops to say like black people were assaulting him or something like that. Then there was another case about a mother who was trying to kill her autistic or mentally disabled son by drowning him, and she was trying to blame it on two black men or whatever, say that they kidnapped her son and like killed him or something like that, which is just a, it's disgusting from a point of a parent. B, it's disgusting from a point of like, how do you just randomly just accuse like because they know that's what the police are gonna respond to, like it being a black person as opposed to it being any other race. So that's how they raise the tension, and that's how they get more attention from their situations that, in most cases, aren't even real. They're just fabricated.
Yeah, it's only gonna get worse. I mean, because it started early because, like I said, there was no NBA, so they're trying to get a jump on things. But yeah, you're gonna see a lot more stuff in the media, and a lot of it is orchestrated. A lot of it has been, oh, so we're gonna just roll this out, or we're gonna set these people up. We're gonna pay these people to do X, Y, and Z. Because that happens all the time, like in like natural disasters and mass shootings and all this other stuff. There are people. Sometimes you'll recognize people from, oh yeah, this person was at the last, mass shooting or like school shooting or whatever. You know, they they
Yeah,
um they have like almost like a task force to do certain things just to push a certain agenda. And it's like, why? Like, why do that?
yeah.
Why create these racial tensions and stuff like that? What's the end goal for that? Some would say it's a race war, but they've been talking about that for like at least 50 years. So
Well, yeah, like I think since the civil rights movement and before that, like we've always had to fight, like for like social injustices against us. So like I don't know why, like I mean, not us as black people probably think this, but it's probably other people of color or white people that just naturally think that because we had a civil rights movement in the 60s, and like some things changed, and like we was able to congregate together with black people and white people together, that I mean, it made a change. It definitely made a difference. But we still getting killed dead in the street. Like there's still like a glass ceiling for not only black men but definitely black women in this, like, and definitely in the corporate environment more than anything. Like we have to work twice or three times as hard to get to the same place like a white man would be. So and from from history, we can't even create our own spaces that won't really get bothered or touched like that, because back in Tulsa in Oklahoma in 1926, we had Black Wall Street. We had infrastructure. We was making our own money. Like we was investing in our own communities, and all these racist, all these racist ass yuppies and these KKK members came and burnt that shit down because they couldn't accept it. It's just a whole bunch of hatred. So I feel like, and I was talking to one of my brothers, and he didn't even respond to me after I said this, but we was chatting. Like I guess because he didn't really know what to say, but like I was saying, like we should build another Black Wall Street. I'm just thinking in my head, the cops would just come and just like terrorize that place the same way and harass that place the same place, and they might even burn that shit down. So I mean, going back to I feel like what we was speaking about during our last podcast, like I mean our last episode, is that is there even like a place for us to be here in America? Is there a place, like, well, no, like I don't know, like I don't feel like there's a place where we're accepted. I feel like there has to be a mass exodus, which sounds crazy, but like if we had like a mass exodus like anywhere besides here, I feel like that'd be really impactful. But that takes a lot of like time, and it takes like, you know, people don't want to do that.
so here's the thing, because I've definitely heard that. Now the wild thing is there's enough land in America to for everybody to have their own sections, their own areas, their own states, and habitate, if you will. Now,
Yeah.
the thing is, it's crazy because a lot of black people were here already before Columbus and all that.
Yeah.
Um, I've heard so many different stories about it. As far as like, what sense did it make to be in Europe, go to Africa, bring that all the way over there on boats, have like a good percentage die in transit, We could just enslave the people that's already there already.
In theory, it makes no sense.
Yeah. Like, I mean, hate isn't practical anyway, but that's just bad business. But, you know, we've been told what we've been told, and so the fact that there are people that were born here first, and even Columbus said like the people here were brown skinned in his memoirs, along with the other weird things that he was into. Um, little boys and such, little boys, little girls, that kind of thing.
Raping and pillaging. That's what they came here to do.
Yeah. So, it's so to do that, to basically be finessed out of your own land is wild. When like you were here first. If you weren't here first, then you built it from the ground up. Your ancestors' blood, sweat, and tears. So it's like, why do I gotta leave when you're the intruder?
Yeah, but they're
And
never gonna leave because they control a lot of the money and a lot of the infrastructure that that we use, all these large corporations. But yeah, like continue what you were saying. I don't want to like interrupt your thought.
no, I get you. And honestly, I think what it really boils down to, and I tweeted this, is like I feel like for the most part, Black people just want to be left alone. Now, the thing is,
100%, bro.
we need to figure out a way to enforce our demands. I want to be left alone. And if we're not left alone, these are the consequences. Now, what do those consequences look like? I mean, strapping up is definitely something that I would definitely encourage. And I don't believe in condoms. Um, that's definitely something. Having some sort of tactical training,
Consequences look
having
like
your own militia.
okay.
Oh, you wasn't able to hear me?
Well, yeah. The last thing I heard you say was that like, what does that look like? Like, what are the consequences? And I feel like you were the first thing I heard you say when I got back on was like us getting our own militia.
Yeah, that's what we needed to hear. But yeah, but not just because honestly, like if we had our own militia, and other people do that, other people have their groups that act on their behalf. You'll
Yeah.
see certain neighborhoods, not saying no names and not like that, because you're not trying to get the video flagged or whatever.
Yeah.
Because that does happen, where you'll see in certain parts of New York that shall remain nameless, you'll see school buses with their insignia on the side of it. They have their own school buses, they have their own schools, they have their own banks, they have their own police force. They play by their own rules, they have their own jurisdiction. It's very possible to do the same thing. So
Yeah.
again, it's just about organizing. Now the problem is that we have an ego problem. We have an ego problem, and we're also in an abusive relationship with white people. I'm gonna call it
100%.
what it is. There's some people that hate white people so much but can't not talk about them. You hate these people, you despise them, but yet you can't stop talking about them. Even if you were to, get the freedom that you've been talking about, you still talk about like, man, I'm so glad we got over Whitey. I'm like, yo, we're over Whitey, so why are you still bringing it up? It's like that. It's like that dude from the 40-year-old virgin. It was just like, man, I hate my ex. I'm like, that was 4 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you still bringing her up? You know what I'm saying? So, it's really, developing a knowledge of self and realizing that, like, why are you putting all this emphasis on somebody? Why are you putting this group of people on a pedestal that breathe the same air, bleed the same blood, and can't be in the same sun as you?
Yeah.
So, it's there's that, it needs to be a mentality change. It needs to be we need to really develop a sense of self-sufficiency. Okay, yes, what do we manufacture? What do we build from the ground up? What kind of food can we grow?
Art.
What kind of crops are exclusive to us? I heard somebody say, talking about, the whole concept of why we're so lax and chill is because back in Africa, you could live off the land. You didn't need to conquer anything because everything was right there. Now, in these other
Yeah.
climates, there wasn't that. You had to fight for things. There was a level of competition and survival. So that's why they felt the need to go to other places to get things because their homeland didn't serve them. Our homeland serves us perfectly fine. So they've just been going from place to place, looking to find a place that they can call home while intruding on the people that already live there.
Yep. That's how it goes, bro. It's
So
it's a sad cycle.
it is. And like I said, I've seen this movie before several times now. It happens every year, especially during an election year. That's when they really ramp it up.
They they run the same play.
Yeah, they run the same play over and over again. It's just like, yo, like, come on. Like, they're obviously
No.
going to do a quarterback sneak. Like, come on, B.
Yeah.
So, it's the best word of advice I can give people of the melanated persuasion is to get your house in order. Be very well, immerse yourself in the concept of law. Know the terms, know your rights in your local state, know your local carry laws in your state. Make sure that you have everything legit in case it goes down. The fact that I saw someone say that basically the fact that they burned down that Target, like, I wonder how many people are going to starve now once there's the second wave hits and there's a food shortage and they can't go nowhere. They're going to ask the same people that they protested for help. And that's another thing. We have a abusive relationship with white people and have an abusive relationship with the cops.
Well, no. Here's what really should happen, and this is gonna be a real test of like our celebrities and our leaders within the Black community. Now, if they really understand like the outrage, they really understand like the pent up like aggression and emotions that we feel back in or behind like the rioting and the looting and stuff when it comes time for a second wave to come and then I able to get certain valuable resources. There should be people like Diddy, people like Jay, people like I don't know, like these artists and these like millionaire business tycoons, like they should be the one that's leading the charge as far as helping these people. And like I've seen a little bit of it happen already. Like I've seen, Kehlani and Diddy and Seth Rogen and like all these other artists, Smino, like donating $1,000 to like the Miss the Minnesota Freedom Fund, which is probably gonna go mostly towards just which is oh wait. Here. Now here's another thing, right? I feel like most of that money, right, is probably just gonna go towards bailing a whole bunch of people out, like that got caught up during the riot, and that's gonna go back to the state. And we already know, like that the police chief that's been there for years, like is probably gonna like some of that money is probably gonna go to the police department, and whoever is like the state official, whoever's the mayor, whoever is like is part of the Senate, the people in the House, it's they get to control how the money is distributed. So I mean, like I really don't know what the
Yeah, so it's
fuck is
like,
gonna
did you
happen.
really do shit? Did you really?
Yeah, yeah, and that's part of the cycle. It's just gonna go back. They're probably just gonna build another fucking target, and it's just gonna go right back to normal.
So let me tell you something. I would say 99.9% of celebrities, especially black celebrities, are ops. Because if you think about where do they get their money from? They get their money from
Mostly
Hollywood.
white people.
Yes. Hollywood's the media.
Yeah.
The media is putting all these images in front of you in the first place. Matter of fact, during the times that it's not going down, they're making movies already prepping you to subconsciously prepare for what they're about to show you anyway.
Yeah, for real.
And if you think about it, these niggas is actors. Of course they're gonna
Yo,
act like that.
speaking of actors, did you hear Shamik Moore, the guy that plays Miles Morales in that Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse movie, talking about like, oh, like how, like, as a black man, like how could you be in fear or whatever? Like, yeah, like we're gonna think about this now, but like in a couple, I don't even remember what he said, but he was it sounded like he was caping for the white man. It sounded like Spider-Man, Black Spider-Man was caping for the white man. That shit I'm not cool with.
So here's my thing with that. And I would have to actually see the whole thing to get the full context. Um,
Same. Like I don't remember everything he said, but I just know it was wild.
there's this recycled video that's been circling around. I've seen it like last year, maybe the year before. I'm just thinking it looks just like Shaq with dreads. Very dusty looking dreads, like from like a Tyler Perry movie. Talking about, I'm not a threat. I'm not this, I'm not that. And I'm sitting there like, this is why you can't fully be mad at women for swirling. Because it's like, this is the ultimate sign of weakness I've ever seen. Why are we constantly
Bro,
trying to make ourselves appear less threatening, less whatever? And
fuck that,
then
bro.
they keep getting pressed on. They keep getting beat up on because you're making it seem as if, oh, it's sweet over here.
Facts. Like we gotta press our foot on their fucking neck next time. Like and like I really hate to be like that, but that's the type of energy you coming with. That's the type of energy you gonna get right back. Like and I really wish somebody would have punt kicked that man right in his fucking head. Like and that probably would have stopped that whole that probably would have stopped that whole shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
like I've seen videos of black dudes beating up on cops. That's been circling around too. And ain't
I
nobody get
saw
shot.
that
Ain't nobody get shot.
because they don't
So
want to throw hands.
yeah. So the black dude get put rain shit.
Yeah.
Rain shit. And then I see
But
another one, like
yo,
another fight going on. And again, like they're not shooting because again, it's like it's a mass crowd. It's like it's too many moving parts. It's too many variables. There's too many opportunities for friendly fire. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing.
yeah.
Like when you're in a group, when it's like an isolated situation where it's just like one, like a bunch of them against you, or they got you on the side of the road in the middle of nowhere. Anything can happen. But when you're in a group of people, when it's like a group of y'all, and everyone's like not with it, because the thing is like people don't realize that we outnumber them.
We do.
Like the fact that they're able to come to the hood, they can come in numbers. But if
They're
everybody in the
short.
hood is standing their ground and they're not with the BS, what they gonna do?
They're shook. You know what? I feel like it would be so easy for like not super easy, but like I feel like it would be like it'd be much easier in New York for black people to like congregate and build together most of the people they have in Harlem, like and build off that, like all the Chinese people that are in Harlem, they together. They have their own businesses, they buy from their own personal businesses. Like the Italians do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
The Jewish folk do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Why the fuck? Why the fuck are we always going to like a Chinese store or going to an Italian store or going here or there? Like where? Like how come like we don't have like our own infrastructure? We don't have our own people. Like to buy from because they don't really have like because the cops don't want to come into these neighborhoods. They're strict to come in these neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
There was another point I was gonna make, but like I had lost it. If it comes back, I'll be sure to bring it up.
Yeah, but you know, the thing is like you're not seeing cops in Chinatown. And even like the situation where like somebody in a certain group of people that I refuse to mention, somebody had a funeral. The streets was flooded. The cops showed up, but they ain't do nothing. They was just there for
they
decoration.
they they didn't do nothing.
It was there for decoration. So, and the funny thing is, there was a situation, I think it was in the 80s, where there was, I guess, an accident where somebody was, killed in a situation, and they raided the precinct. They pulled up mad deep with overwhelming force, and they got it popping in the precinct.
That's wild.
And since then, I haven't seen. You know what I'm saying? They set that example. And we need to really. And I've been saying this for like the longest, to the point where like I'm blue in the face. What are the consequences for harming one of our own? Thinking about the dude, and I'm so mad the name is escaping me right now. The dude in right outside Atlanta in Georgia, who was jogging.
Ahmaud Arbery.
Yes, Ahmaud Arbery. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
this happened in like February, and during Black History Month. And
Facts, bro.
they're now just getting media attention. And I was talking to somebody who shall remain nameless. I was like, yo, like, before this even went viral, like, I'm sorry, they would have been digging mass graves for his family, because ain't no way in hell. What are the consequences? Are you with the smoke? Do you really want the smoke? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
And it's just so crazy how we have all the smoke for each other, but when it comes from outside, what we really need to smoke for, we don't have it. And that, again, ties back to the
we can't band together for nothing.
That's what we have, the abusive relationship between white people and us and the police. And the other thing that's another factor is the fact that niggas is for sale. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody was talking about how everyone's talking about unity, but back in the 60s, there's never been so many agents and snitches and double agents and stuff like that. Like,
yeah.
Martin Luther King's photographer was working with the feds. The person that supplied the Black Panthers with their ammunition was with the feds. Matter of fact, one of Martin Luther King's associates was working for the FBI and the CIA at the same time, and they both didn't know about it till much later.
That's wild.
How you a double agent, nigga?
That nigga a triple agent.
That's what I'm saying. Just mad untrustworthy. Like, so
why did the Nation of Islam kill Malcolm X? Why did that happen?
I think
that's what happened, right?
I think with that in particular, that was a group effort, to where the feds were instigating things between Malcolm X and the nation. Letters were getting intercepted and stuff like that, reworded and stuff like, they were doing all of this stuff. Like, the feds are like at least 10 years ahead of us when it comes to like technology and what they can do. So if you think about, like, oh, this is coming out, when you see like those videos about, oh, they got robots to do X, Y, and Z, niggas been had that. They're just now showing that it may be available to the public. Think about everything that your phone could do right now. Like,
yeah, they've been had that technology.
Like, the military had the internet, if I'm not mistaken, back in the 70s. That's nuts. Testicles. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's crazy. So, what was my point? They have all this stuff already. So, they were instigating things, and they didn't just do this with just Malcolm and the Nation. They did it with the Panthers. They did it with like pretty much everybody. Like, J. Edgar Hoover goes on my Mount Rushmore fuck niggas. Him, Cecil Rhodes, Leopold, and Bill Gates. But that's another story for
Facts.
another day.
Yeah, what about
Yeah,
Reagan? Fuck that nigga too.
nah, he's up there, but like I guess he's honorable mention. I'll say that. But like those people, they just did everything. Like their body counts was crazy as far as like how many, just the stuff that they did is just ridiculous. So yeah, J. Edgar Hoover has been dismantling black movements from Marcus Garvey, who was born 100 years to the day before I was, to the Black Panthers. So from like
Well,
the late 1800s, well, more so like the early 1900s up until like the 60s, 70s. That's a long period of time of being a fuck nigga.
facts, bro.
So, they were doing that kind of stuff. And then the fact that, Malcolm was airing dirty laundry, as far as, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, not keeping not practicing dick discipline, which is what I talk about all the time. You know, the thing was what made Malcolm so powerful. He
It
was,
cut out. It cut out after you said the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, but I know what you was getting at. See, and like that's probably like I think that was part of the problem. Like he was Malcolm X. He was too righteous.
yes, he was about that life. And the thing is,
He
like,
was he was too righteous for for any movement. So like when they when he tried to tear down Elijah Muhammad's character, like and that like ruined his relationship with the Nation of Islam, they wasn't with his ass either. That was
exactly.
his base for the most part, I feel, to
Yeah.
start.
So, yeah, there was a lot of stuff going on. So I do understand, as far as, you air out the dirty laundry and stuff like that. And it's almost as if like you're biting the hand that feeds you because, they took you, they cleaned you up and everything like that. But it's like, keep that same energy with how you, practice what you preach. That's really what it boils down to. Like, I'm not going to be on a platform talking about, oh, we need to do this and we need to do that. And then you catch me slipping, with a car full of, Caucasians and cocaine crop circles. Like, you're not going to catch me ever with that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Facts, bro.
that's not what I do.
Yeah, not
So,
the wave.
the fact that he was living that life while, see, because Malcolm was the perfect soldier as far as, his dedication, his discipline and everything like that. But it seems like when you're in a position of power, you're very corruptible. When you have that position, like you're the head, you're the HNIC, that can get to your head. That can get
Yeah.
you to taking liberty. That'll get you, women are just throwing themselves at you. And it's like, I guess, you know what I mean? So, it's, and people don't realize how easy it is to be corrupted until you're in those positions.
Facts.
Like, yeah, and I mean, shoot, the average nigga nowadays, they can't even turn down joint down the street.
Yeah, bro. Like these niggas is willing to root for Trump and vote for Trump over $1,200, like 1,200 extra dollars popping in their pocket that these niggas probably spent in 3 weeks. Am I like I hate to say it, but like, come on, bro. Like you gonna start cooning and dancing for the white man because somebody gave you $1,200? Like that's just crazy to me.
So I'm gonna tell you right now, this election, just like the last election, I'm sitting out. This shit ain't got nothing to do with me.
Bro, I have no idea where I stand right now.
Well, this is the thing. Like this is the white people's problem. White people is mad at Trump. It's like, okay, that's your problem. Like, I honestly, and I've searched for it. There's nothing that's like super. There's no crime bill. There's no crazy thing that like specifically was targeting black people for real, for real. I did see some things that, you know, they were trying to appeal more to the black crowd as far as conservatives go, which black people typically, especially like, you know, most niggas that's like grew up in the church and stuff like that, they've always had conservative values. It's just, you know,
Yeah,
the name has always been like, you know, whatever. Yeah, we're conservatives,
true.
but you know, we get liberal every once in a while when it comes to our women, our weed, and whatever. But you know, we're very family oriented. Now, this new generation, maybe not so much. You know, I've seen a lot of people talk about, oh, stop asking me when I'm going to have kids. You don't know how many miscarriages I had, and blah blah blah, and
Yeah,
X, Y,
like
and Z.
nobody's continue.
You know, it's just it's a lot, and the thing is, like, I've said this before. The best lie that you can tell is something that it's so messed up that if someone was to question it, you can demonize them. You caught that?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You said the best lie you can tell is
Something that's so messed up that if you were to question it, you know what I'm saying, then you're in the wrong. I can turn it back on you.
yeah,
So, prime example. Oh, I can't go to work. You know, I'm calling into work. Yeah, you know, my grandma just passed. I can't come into work. Now, if they tell me, oh, really? I don't believe you. You know what I'm saying? Now, legally, they say
yeah.
something like, "Yeah, we just need an obituary. Sorry for your loss, whatever, whatever." And sometimes they don't even really say that because that's a touchy subject. But
Yeah.
I could be lying. But the fact that I'm lying and you question that is such a touchy subject that it's like, how dare you? You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, think of all the crazy things that happen throughout history. Crazy atrocities, genocides, all of that. Not all of them happened the way they told it. They told it to you. But if you were to question it,
Of course not.
but if you were to question it, then you're a terrible person. You're canceled. Whatever, whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna leave it at that. What the hell are we talking about before?
Um, we were talking about like I think black people not wanting to start families or whatever, or like nowadays and the younger generation, like for some reason it seems like I don't know.
Oh, I remember we were talking
That
about
was
niggas like selling out and
that
niggas
was a
like,
point.
like being hoes.
Yeah, facts. And we were speaking about Malcolm X and Martin Luther King as well.
Now,
Yeah.
the thing with Martin Luther King is, you know, the older I get, the more I'm really don't rock with him like that. Um, because one, he's what's called a what they call nowadays as a blavity black. He didn't really live. He really didn't live the nigga experience like that. He grew up in a upper middle class, you know, black neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Back when, you know, we had our own towns and everything like that because of segregation. We were forced to, you know, build ourselves up. He went to college, saw some things, and then he wanted to
Yeah.
become an activist. Now, Malcolm X, on the other
Yeah.
hand, he's lived that his whole life. He's lived the nigga experience his whole life. He's been in the streets. His father was murdered by the KKK. His mother lost her mind and was taken away because of the trauma due to the KKK and the constant torment and stuff like that and being black in America.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you think about it, I mean, realistically, like, if you were to um, parallel the black experience to like the thug experience, not Malcolm X, Martin Luther King was like Suge Knight. Suge Knight grew up in a nice neighborhood, had a scholarship and everything like that. He had all that stuff. He was playing football, and then he decided that, you know what? Let me start smacking niggas. And that's the same thing with MLK. He was just like, you know what? Nah, let me get some of this preacher money. Let me get some of this. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
it's and there's other stuff too. He was pretty much an op for the most part, and then he started to change his ways and kind of see the big picture. Um, he wasn't killed by that gunshot. He was killed in the hospital and spit on.
Wow.
So, there's like I said, there's a lot of stuff that they're rewriting history. They tell you one version of something, but it's not really how, things really happen. And it's very
Mm.
important. Like if you, again, like you're just living long enough, you start to notice like, nah, this didn't happen that way. That's why like journaling and stuff like that is so important because like that's timestamps of exactly what happened when it happened. You hear me?
Yeah, we completely cut out. And like you said, and it goes back to saying something like that.
No, it's just saying like it's very important to to journal and like take a timestamp of like what's going on because
Yeah,
they're gonna try to rewrite history,
hundred
to
percent.
fit their narrative. But back to the matter of hand, as far as like what we can do going forward, obviously document happenings in history. As far as this revolution stuff people be talking about, put your damn phones down, start recording
That
everything. You know what I'm saying? Stop giving the feds intel to what you have planned.
100%.
Stop selling out. Um, you know, have some sort of decorum and dignity within yourself. Um, know who you are. That definitely helps. I saw somebody actually. She did something along the lines of. She talked about if you're going to be out there protesting and stuff like that, or rioting, if you will, what to do as far as how to prepare yourself. Making sure you're carrying a bag. Make sure you're not wearing anything with logos that's identifiable. Dressing really generic. Making sure you're carrying gloves. Make sure that you have your face covered so they can't
Yeah.
identify you. Don't talk to don't talk to the press. Don't do anything like that. So
Mm.
again, I can't even really say everything that needs to happen because obviously this is also a public platform. Anybody can see this video, but
Yeah.
yeah, move in silence. Stop announcing it.
100%.
Most of the people that were most of these movements that got shut down was because people were too vocal.
You're talking about it too much.
You think the people that run the world, that really run the world, are having public meetings, having niggas with they camera phones out and all of that? They're recording their meetings.
No, we gotta move like them. We gotta move in silence.
Exactly. But the thing is, niggas also have an abusive relationship with the spotlight, with glory, with attention. We're creatures of the sun, so we always want to shine. It's a double-edged sword. So again, it's
Hmm.
about mastering your ego and realizing that I don't need to be at the forefront of this. I don't need to be that nigga. I don't need to be immortalized as some figure. I don't need to be a martyr for the cause, if you will. Like I just need to move smarter and be strategic about it.
Facts.
I don't need to broadcast stuff. Like when I talk that talk for real, like I typically put my phone well far away from me. Like nah, let's have a walk real quick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't play those
That
random games because even if this phone is off, it's on.
seriously.
So you know what I'm saying? I don't play those games. So all right, I think it's time to wrap. Um, again, if people want to find you, where can they find you at?
They can find me on Instagram is kavon.d. Um, or you can check my business page, which is at Couch Time with K. I'm working on my website right now. If you have any inquiries, it's couchtimewithk@gmail.com. Or if you want to add a voice message or, you know, quick little tidbit, that'd be nice. But definitely reach out to me if you're listening. And thank you I am Dwayne for giving me a platform so we can discuss current events on your podcast.
No doubt, no doubt. You can find me where you found me at, and make sure you like, subscribe, slander, all of that. Cancel me. I don't care.
Slander me, cancel me.
Facts. I'm trying to disappear from these niggas. All
Dead
right.
ass, bro.
Till next time.
Yeah, bro.